Today I will talk on old unreduced elbow dislocations. Unreduced dislocations of the elbow are very uncommon injuries. Elbow dislocations are classified according to position of the ulna and radius in relation to the distal humerus as anterior, medial, posterior, and lateral. Posterior dislocations account for 80 to 90% of all dislocations. Mechanism of injury: a fall backward an arm with the elbow flexed position with the forearm supinated is the most common mechanism. Injury causes radius and ulna to dislocate posterior to the humerus, associated with a fracture of the radial head or a coracoid process of the ulna. Coming to the pathological anatomy of the unreduced dislocation, there will be extensive myositis ossification around joint, especially in brachialis and triceps brachii muscles. Marked shortening of the triceps muscle, shortening of the medial and lateral collateral ligaments, tightening of the ulnar nerve, ossification or dense fibrous tissue thickening of the fibrous tissue and thickening of the joint capsule, fibrous tissue filling of the olecranon and coronoid fossa, as well as space between the distal end of the humerus and proximal end of the radius and ulna. In the X-ray, you will see the dislocated elbow. The radial humeral horn is seen in some cases. This is a characteristic finding found by Allende, Frey et al. In all 35 cases of old unreduced dislocation of the elbow. Ossification of the hematoma found between the periosteum adhering the capsule near the head of the radius. Clinical presentation: arm is generally fixed in an extension or in a very slight flexion with a minimal range of motion. Pronation and supination are limited. Pronation is usually more limited than the supination because biceps is under the tension from the angulation around humeral condyles, which pulls the forearm in supination. Power in the hand is decreased probably because of the some muscles in the forearm are shortened as the distance between the humerus and hand is reduced. Features of associated nerve injury: most commonly ulnar nerve injury can be seen in some patients. Coming to the treatment options, you can try closed reduction, open reduction, excisional arthroplasty, interpositional or replacement arthroplasty, arthrodesis are the option. Coming to the closed reduction, according to Allende and Frey, closed reduction should be attempted only if dislocation is less than 3 weeks old. After 3 weeks, closed reduction is hazardous due to soft tissue contracture, localized osteoporosis, fracture of the bone or damage to articular surface may result. Closed reduction should be done gently under GA with a complete muscle relaxation. Methods of closed reduction: manipulative method. While an assistant holds the arm, makes steady, give a counter traction, grasp the wrist with one hand, make steady traction on the forearm in a position in which it lies. While traction is maintained, correct any lateral displacement with the other hand. Then, while traction is maintained, gently flex the forearm. With a reduction, a click is usually felt and heard as the olecranon engages the articular surface of the humerus. This is another technique, Quigley technique. The patient is prone on an examination or X-ray table. The forearm is allowed to dangle toward the floor and slowly pulled in the direction of the long axis of the forearm. This is done gently without sudden movement. After the muscle relaxation occurs, the olecranon is grasped with the operator's other hand using a thumb and index finger. The olecranon is then guided to the reduced position without force. In this way, medial and lateral components of the dislocation can be controlled and corrected. Reduction in traction. The olecranon pin is inserted and the traction is begun with the elbow in extension. When the radius and ulna have been pulled to the level of the humerus, the position of the traction is slowly changed and elbow flexion is accomplished. Open reduction. Restoration of a useful range of motion after open reduction is inversely proportional to the length of time from injury to surgery. Results of open reduction have been inconsistent in various studies, but if done within 3 months of injury, results are found to be acceptable. Fowler et al. Emphasized open reduction in children irrespective of duration of dislocation. Open reduction involves lengthening of the shortened triceps muscle, lengthening of the shortened median lateral collateral ligament, removal of all fibrous tissue, osteotomy of the radial humeral horn, decompression of the ulnar nerve, and anterior transposition if required. Open reduction of old unreduced dislocation of elbow requires exposure of a joint on both medial and lateral side and identification and protection of ulnar nerve. For this, posterior approach is most suitable. If required, triceps aponeurosis can be divided to afford complete exposure of the joint. Triceps aponeurosis can be cut transversely and subsequently lengthened by interposition of strips of fascial lata or Achilles tendon, or a distally based V incision made on triceps aponeurosis and subsequent lengthening achieved by VY plasty. There was an article in JBJ's British 1993 on open reduction of the elbow joint. They compared the results of the lengthening of triceps in the elbow that had been dislocated for more than 1 month and less than 3 months and found that retaining integrity of the triceps muscle is more beneficial than the triceps plasty. It improves joint stability. Early rehabilitation as a triceps plasty makes elbow unstable and requires post-operative immobilization with a transfixing pin in flexion for 2 to 3 weeks. Minimizes post-operative flexion contracture. After open reduction, the elbow is frequently unstable, which is managed by various methods. K-wires are Steinmann pin to transfix the olecranon and humerus or capitulum and radial head, or creation of intra-articular cruciate ligaments, or you have to put a hinged external fixator. Creation of intra-articular cruciate ligaments, quite interesting surgery. Slot is cut in the lower humerus starting at trochlear sulcus and extending 2 to 3 mm above imagined axis of rotation of the joint. 2 drill holes are made in the distal humerus and 2 in ulna. Tendon of the palmaris longus or extensor carpi radius longus is used as a graft. Flexion extension exercise is started as early as 6th post-operative day. Hinged elbow external fixator. It allows early mobilization of the elbow during first few weeks after the operation, maintains concentric reduction and allows collateral ligament to heal or scar back to the epicondyles, which restores stability without restricting motion. Worm gear mechanism promotes a static, progressive, passive stretch of elbow in both extension and flexion to offset inherent triceps or biceps contracture. Resection elbow arthroplasty. Advantages are it gives a good relief of pain, useful in increase in both hinge of motion and forearm rotation at elbow, better results in dislocations more than 3 months old. Disadvantages: elbow instability. Total elbow arthroplasty. It is indicated in unreduced elbow dislocations more than 3 months old where stability is required. Types: fully constrained prosthesis, semi-constrained prosthesis. Choice of implant depends upon state of the capsulo-ligamentous structures around the elbow, integrity of the musculature, amount of bone remaining at elbow joint. Conclusion: most old unreduced elbow dislocations require open reduction. Closed manipulation can be tried only before certain weeks, which varies for various joints. Skeletal traction sometimes will reduce the joint that has been dislocated for several weeks. Best results are obtained with a replacement arthroplasty, especially in elderly patient. Replacement arthroplasty if not feasible, then arthrodesis or resection arthroplasty can be used.